Whoopity-doo, whoopity-doodly-doodly-doodly-doo, Shlicketty-doo. Welcome to the Shlicketty-doo cast. Wow, I'm your host, Aaron Forsythe. You've reached the worst show in the world, but I'm glad you're here. We're the worst, best show you know. And I got my buddy Mike. We'll get him knocking soon, but I got to do the ritual. Why don't we go doubles today? Oh my God. Production value out the roof. Oh. Guess who's knocking? Lucky says hi. Lucky says hello.
Is that Lucky the cat? Lucky the cat?
Lucky the cat. Yeah, Lucky the cat. He's got a mustache now. He's now kind of Eduardo or something. He could be an Eduardo.
Lucky Sanchez.
Yeah, Lucky Sanchez. There we go. Lucky Sanchez. I like that.
Actually, I like Lucky Juarez.
Like Juarez, with a J, a silent J.
Yeah, like Juarez, Mexico.
Yeah. Lucky Juarez. Hey, Lucky Juarez. Questionably racist. With questionably racist accent. All right. So here we are. Thank you. Last episode went pretty good. Numbers are looking good. We reheated the nachos. We did it all.
Yeah, let's say hey to all the new fans, all the new subscribers, all the new peeps out there that are coming and joining us to take the time and chill with us. And
yeah, a lot of fellow podcasters. I think podcasters check out other podcasters, you know?
What up, peeps?
You know, it was funny. I went to a wedding last night, and
really?
Yeah. Real nice, swanky, but I was sitting next to a fella, and he goes, two things. I got to ask you about this one, Mike. So the guy goes, so what do you do in your spare time? He didn't ask me what I did for a living. He said spare time.
Okay, so that would say to me initially, this guy doesn't want to talk about boring shit.
You're right, yeah. I don't want to say, well, I crunch numbers. I do Sudoku.
Yeah, he doesn't want to hear about, sales of pipe fittings in Northeastern Ohio.
So I said, oh, I have a podcast. And right when I said it, it rolled right out of my mouth. I go, ugh. The word I have a podcast is the equivalent of 1988 saying, I'm in a band. I literally said, I have a podcast, and then went, ugh. I don't know
about 88, definitely 90, 93, 94.
Yeah, but it's the new word of I'm in a band. It's I have a podcast.
I've heard that from people and podcasters and YouTubers and such, because I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube on a lot of different subjects. And a lot of people are like, yeah, everybody's got a podcast. There's a podcast all over the place.
I know. We need a different word. I mean, I like to say it's a show. We do a show. It's kind of like a show, but I know. I wish there was a word in between show and podcast. There's got to be a word. A
Shodcast?
A showcast? An occurrence.
I mean, we're not even casting anything.
No,
we're not putting up live. We're not broadcasting. We're not. We're just uploading.
Yeah. When they goes, what do you do for a living? What do you do? I lollygag.
Lollygag and loaf and stuff.
I lollygag in front of a camera. Yeah.
Professional lollygagger.
Yeah. Then. We're talking, all right. He's like, well, what do you do for a living? I said, during the day, I pay the bills. I'm a graphic designer, which is true. And then I did another one. I go, and by night, by night, as if I was going to say vigilante. I go, and by night, I'm a comedian.
Fight crime.
And I went, so here we go. I'm a podcaster with a comedian. I'm a comedian who is a podcast. I know. I felt like a cliche of myself.
Yeah. And I get that, but the reality is that he doesn't even know, and that you don't even tell him.
He thought it was neat. He was like, oh, wow, that's neat. Wow,
But the reality is that he doesn't even know is that we grew up playing in bands since we were like 13, 14.
Yeah, I had to do that on the back end.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, yeah, I'm sure when you look at that list, it's sort of like, you're doing all those things? It's like, well, you sort of have to.
Yeah, because then they run through the questions of, oh, don't you get nervous? Your first time, were you nervous? I get that. That question came up. I'm like, oh no, and that's where I go, I've been in bands for 30 years. I've been entertaining people. Oh my God, I've been doing it since.
Yeah, people get nervous in front of a group because they think there's a great expectation on them.
Yeah.
There's not. Just don't fall down. That's about it.
No, and it's funny, I was talking to Tina on the way there, and we were talking about stage fright. I'm like, because I always wonder why she's not into this whole entertainment game at all. Right. But she goes with me. And I go, had you ever thought about, why can't you just bring me on? And now we have our next Aaron, here
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, she doesn't want no part of it.
The comedy stylings.
Yeah, she wants no part of hosting. So I was like, okay, fine. But here we go. Why?
We should record a voiceover for you and just have her play it from the phone over the PA.
Oh, I thought about doing that. I know I could just play it through the PA Bluetooth. But when you were a kid, when you were in school, did you get nervous like, oh, you gotta read this chapter in front of the class? And I was thinking to myself, no, I liked it. I look forward to it. I was kind of like, all right.
I didn't, because I was a pretty good reader, and I'm pretty good with enunciating in the words and pronouncing the words and shit like that. I know a lot of people, especially in school, that were like, you know.
Oh my gosh, I gotta get in front of the class. Oh my God. Oh,
yeah, that. But it was like they'd get all freaked out about words and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And they're like, what if I don't know how to pronounce a word? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, that never. But I loved it. Now the nervous. But when people would go, Aaron, were you ever nervous going up there? And I was like, you know what I'm nervous about? I'm nervous about the school bully tripping me on the way, or getting hit with a spit wad or a fart noise or something on my way up there.
Your game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I always, even the night before, I was looking forward to like, oh, I can't wait. I hope they call me up to get up there. All right.
Like the Price is Right.
My time to shine. Yeah,
Call
I was waiting
name.
for my number. All right,
I'm coming on down.
Yeah, it's Showcase Showdown. I was waiting for it.
Well, and I definitely got nervous. I definitely remember, I think you probably weren't there or something like that. I definitely remember getting nervous before doing a gig at school. I think it was like 8th grade talent show thing. Because that was the thing. The gigs in front of our entire school class thing, because we did like, I remember...
yeah, your reputation's on the line there.
Yeah, we played this party out of the skating rink. There were 2 middle schools, and they were all funneling into the same high school.
Yeah.
And so 9th grade was the high school where they all joined together. So it was called the 8th grade mixer. So all the kids came to the skating rink from one middle school and another middle school. And so we played at it. I don't know, were you and Jones playing it with me? I know Rome was in it with me. Of course, my brother was drumming.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember who else was there.
Yeah, I was a bass player. I was terrible.
And yeah, then it must have been me and Jones playing guitar. Mm-hmm. Rome singing and playing guitar too. And so that gig in front of everyone you're gonna fucking go to school with for the next 4 years, and date, and be friends with, and everything.
Yeah.
That was the most nerve-wracking gig ever.
They were, I was excited, but I was more nervous about the what if. Like, what if our amps explode? What if the drum falls apart?
I remember we were like 80%, we're gonna kill this, these people don't know what's gonna hit them. And there was 20%, but what if? And we were like, but why?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. Like, we nailed this. Like, we were killing it.
We were well rehearsed then. You know,
we were really well rehearsed.
We're 4 days a week. We're jamming
knew what
songs.
we were doing. They weren't that hard of songs.
Yeah, and we were 4 days a week. You know, let's go downstairs and play the songs.
Yeah, we were rehearsing a lot.
Yeah, and it was like 3-4 songs, so it wasn't really that hard of a call.
Was it? Was it kind of a short gig?
I think it was 4 songs. I think we did the 4.
I remember one of them was "Rock You Like a Hurricane."
Right, and we did "Bark at the Moon."
Oh, did we? Okay.
We did "Loud and Clear" by Striper.
Loud, clear,
right, and then we did a Dokken song. Did we do "It's Not Love" or did we do
"Bullets to Spare"?
Bullets to Spare. Yeah, it was some Dokken. We always had a Dokken song in there.
Bullets to Spare. I like Dokken. I grew up playing Dokken.
I hated them, but I liked it because
Dokken was pretty good songwriters. They were good songwriters.
I thought they were terrible.
No, I thought their songwriting was good.
I hated his voice. I hated the reverb. I hated the excessive guitar leads. I thought it was a little much. I hated the songs just sounded like half-baked 80s songs. They sounded like, they fit with the genre of what we would like. It's just, I didn't like their take on it.
Like, I was listening to them hard on Tooth and Nail, Under Lock and Key, which is
we all listened to that.
83 and 85.
Yeah.
And I think by 85 I was onto the thrash metal.
Yeah. But Dokken leaked in because Dokken was a thing. I was with the Rat and the Dokkens and the Crews.
No, see, that's the thing. Rat had a song or two I liked. Their songs were not that good.
No, but I always thought of them
lame.
like a new age Aerosmith. Like I thought they were a little grittier and a little bit more druggied.
I didn't know what Aerosmith was until they came back.
Oh, yeah.
They would always compare Rat to Aerosmith, and I'm like, I don't know who Aerosmith is. I get it, they're the Sweet Emotion guys. I'd never seen pictures of them. I don't know who the fuck they are. It meant nothing to me.
Oh, yeah, I did.
For years. Circus Magazine, Hit Parader Magazine, fucking oh, rad, it's just like the Toxic Twins from fucking Aerosmith. And I'm like, that means nothing to me. Who the fuck is Aerosmith? You know?
Who the fuck is that? What the fuck?
Yeah, it was like, it was super annoying to me.
Oh, I knew it because my brother used to have the record, the Get Your Wings red record, you know, so we had it in our wheelhouse. So it was in my pre-80s wheelhouse.
Yeah, I didn't know nothing about it until that Joe Perry Project music video came out for Let the Music Do the Talking.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, that was kind of okay. I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. You know?
Oh, I get you.
And then they came out with the reformed, well, they did Walk This Way.
Yeah. 80s metal, yeah. We're going to have to do a whole 80s metal. We're going to have a once we get to the 80s,
we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. But we'll have a.
So speaking of, let's
weighted
introduce this
episode for that.
What?
Well, we'll have a weighted episode towards 80s metal and rock and music. We'll have some music episodes a few weeks from now, because we dabble, and that's our wheelhouse. But I feel like I don't want to alienate some of our crowd who doesn't know what we're talking about. You know what I mean?
No, because the things that we'll talk about is probably fairly esoteric stuff. Like, we're not going to be talking about the hits of Bon Jovi.
If you're 50 years old and live in New Zealand, you're going to be like, what the fuck are they talking about?
I don't know. They may be pretty hip down there.
I mean, they might know the White Snakes, but, you know, when we say Dokken, they're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about, you know?
People that were there and were into it, they know Dokken.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I don't want to alienate, but keep going.
So we're going to do a new segment here on the show. We're going to kind of do a little focus on different years of history sort of thing. And so that's what Aaron's talking about. So in the future, we'll get to the 80s, but we're going to start with
Today,
the year that we were both born, which is
1971. Cue the graphic.
You got it right. Hey, that looks cool when I'm pointing at it. Yeah.
Ooh, look at that high-tech graphic going on. Woo!
Yeah, so we'll put the high-tech graphic in. I have not yet seen the high-tech graphic.
But something will happen.
That's how this show comes together. We take bits, we put them in a blender of time and space. We hit puree a couple times, give it a little chop action, and
yeah. And I say fix it in post because I always think that's what the big guys say. Fix it in post.
I reject fix it in post. My drummer used to say that
you're the
to
guy
me.
who fixes it in post.
Yeah,
so
my drummer used to lay half-assed drum tracks and then be like, you'll fix it in post. I'm like, no, that's my entire weekend fixing your sloppy tracks. And I'd be like, go again.
That's a funny line. I imagine like walking onto a public bus and be like, all right, we'll fix it in post.
Nobody knows what the hell you're talking about.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you get that look like you'd get from like a black lady bus driver. She just kind of glance up at you and be like, crazy people.
Yeah.
You know,
like
whatever.
I've seen all shapes and sizes.
They notice you, decide it's worthless.
But before we get to 1971, real quick update. Remember the AARP?
Oh, that's right. You joined AARP.
From last episode. You got to cue the last episode.
You are embracing turning into a fucking old man.
A boomer, yeah. Well, I'm trying to get all my bonuses.
You're not a boomer. You're never going to be a boomer.
No, I know. But I know I'm a Gen Xer. We're Gen Xers.
Yeah, you're just...
But I'm looking forward to like all my dinner discounts, my free bus rides, my break on insurance. Come on, give me the accoutrements of surviving
off movie
life.
Tickets.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Oh, really? The kickback for surviving life?
That's what I think. It's karma. It's life karma.
But this is the problem. This sort of sense of crazy entitlement.
Well, I mean,
it's like that's where these boomers are at right now. And I tell you, I watch these videos on YouTube of these people getting nuts with the cops. It's always the same shit.
Yeah, the old guys that they probably have like Grateful Dead in the deck, but then they're driving BMWs and have
they're driving
golf
golf
on.
carts down around their housing developments in Florida and shit, and they're all like, "You can't tell me," and it's like. These guys are so cranked up on meth and fucking entitlement.
Oh, you're talking the more lowbrow ones. I was thinking the more of the golf club entitlement kind, with a little bit of coin behind them.
That's what I'm talking about. The ones driving the golf carts around their gated communities in Florida.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they're methed out, though. I think they're just alcoholics.
Well, that too.
Yeah.
No, a lot of them are fucking methed out too. Because they're super aggressive. That's the thing.
Well, that's entitlement aggression.
Well, that's what... You ever watch any of the Dr. Drew shows on your mom's house network?
Sure.
He always says that the meth heads run towards the cops. And the cocaine people try and run away from the cops.
This is true.
He's like, I don't know why. He's like, ask any
the
cop and
opiate
they'll tell you.
people are confused. Or they try to small talk. Hey, how you doing, man? So I got AARP.
So anyway,
I joined it.
You're joining AARP. You're embracing the old school.
Yeah, they sent me the free. I got the free bag. Now, good. Look at the bag. It's really nice. The bag. I was wondering, oh man, is the bag better not have their dumb, stupid logo on it? Because I got it for the girlfriend for her lunch thing. Come to find out, it's a little smaller than they show in the picture. In the picture, they have it wide open, and it's like, oh, they show groceries sticking out of it and everything like that.
Boxes of cereal.
Oh yeah, So when I saw the picture, I'm like, oh, sign me up. Well, I get it.
Wait a minute. Did you sign up with AARP just to get the lunch bag?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm telling you.
It's like you with the CD club.
Yes, I did it for the bag because it was $15. I was like, I'd pay $15 just for the bag. But the bag,
if you could get a decent usable bag for $15, that's actually a steal.
Yes,
these days.
and I was actually two birds with one stone. I wanted it because I saw the girlfriend's lunch bag, and hers was a little small and dainty, and I'm like, oh, come on. So I was going to do her a solid with the lunch bag, win her over, get her a thing, and then I have a free AARP thing. So it's a double win. I was going for the two birds, one stone.
So wait, so you're figuring you'll either give her the AARP lunch sack, or if she doesn't like it or want it, you
I know somebody who's going to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there it is. Yeah. So it ended up being a little small. She was like, it's a little small, but it is nice. Doesn't have the logo on it, and it's one of those ones where it's lined. We got that. It's a little rounded, real nice. All right.
It's pouch-like.
Yeah. Which she had a good idea for the use for it. So here we go. It's there. So it's not as big as one would think.
I don't know. I mean, that's honestly the lunch bag that I was taking to work at Amazon was like a little cube like this. Like it wasn't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This has the shoulder strap.
It's a little bit bigger than that.
And I like that it's gray and black, so it doesn't look dorky, you know. And it's kind of like a canvasy, kind of like a jean material, which is nice.
Yeah,
a little small though. So she's not going to use it for her lunches.
You keep saying it's a little small, though. It is not. That's a good size.
No, I know. But
I mean, when
you saw the picture that they enticed me with, like I said, they had groceries sticking out of it. They had celery stalks in six packs.
So you feel like you got swindled.
A little bit.
Okay, I get you.
A little bit. A little bit left up.
But size-wise, it's actually a little bit bigger than the Kiss lunchbox.
Yeah.
So it's a decent size. Like this is my drinks bag.
Yeah, this is like yours, but except for it has a pocket in the front.
Yours is a little bit bigger.
Yeah. And once I get a shape, yours has to shape, but you built that up.
Well, this is just a big rectangle. I've got a giant icy block brick in here.
Oh, that's
and
what's keeping
I got 3 cans laying on the side.
That's how you're keeping the structural integrities with the icy block.
Yeah, the icy block's like right there.
Okay.
And then I got 3 cans in here, and I put the cans sideways, so they're stuck up against the front and the back, so they don't wiggle around a lot.
Right, and you have structural integrity on the wall.
Yeah. This guy's been on 3 continents with me.
All right.
He's been around.
Well, that's where AARP bag is going to happen. He's going on 3 continents with me because we're going to use that. She had a good idea. She's like, why don't we use that? When we throw the liquids in the car when we go on road trips, when we're going, because we need liquids when we're going. Okay, Aaron's got a gig in Pittsburgh. Aaron's got a gig in Cleveland. So we
need some place to put all the juice boxes and keep them together, so the juice boxes aren't rolling all around the floor of the car.
Yeah, the Liquid Deaths and the Red Bulls. You put them in there because otherwise
Capri Suns. You don't want to step on a Capri Sun on the floorboard of the car.
No, because we used to use the actual cooler. So
well that was the way growing up.
Yeah,
that
cooler.
was the thing with my parents. My mom, they'd be like, road trip, we're going to have the cooler. I never went to the fucking cooler. She's like, it'll be full of snacks and drinks.
We've done that. But that was always a pull over to pee, and then let's open the hatch and have a sandwich.
Right, yeah, not while you're driving. There were times that we definitely did that where, because we tried different stuff on the trip. I definitely remember in the back rummaging through, there were 2 coolers. One had condiments and food and shit, and the other was just ice and some soda drinks or whatever the fuck.
Well, now that food's getting a little expensive, the past couple of years we've been when we do travel, we've been doing the cooler in the back. Got to get the sandwiches. I got some cold cuts in there. Okay.
But you're not doing the cold drinks. Like the cooler of ice, what I mean?
Yeah, now for little jaunts to Pittsburgh or Cleveland for a gig not even overnight, for me for a gig. So I don't have to stop at Sheetz and go, okay, at least I got that. Grab me a drink, sister. And then she grabs that and boom, boom, here's your drink, fatty. So there we go. So that's going to work. AARP bag's going to work. I haven't got my AARP card yet, so I'll keep you updated on what I get when I pull that one out at the old Valerio's Pizza. I'm going to be like, here we go, sister. Got the AARP card, here we go.
You're going to do the old feast your eyes on this.
Yoink. Yep, I'm going to be like, yoink, the black card of doom.
So stupid.
I know. So
Yeah.
that's that.
My girlfriend's in it.
Oh, she's got AARP?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I didn't even know that. I should ask her what.
Yeah, she can teach you the secret handshake.
Right, it's like the Illuminati Club. I know it is. It's the AARP Illuminati. The AARP Illuminati.
Like, you didn't go to college, you feel like you missed out on the frat experience. AARP's coming your way.
There we go.
Fill that hole in your life.
Yeah, there we go. Golden girls, here we come.
You're going to have like 3 million of frat brothers.
Yeah. So, okay, I have a question for you before we get to 1971. I got one quick question for you. Okay.
Wait, let me fire up the Wayback Machine. All right.
Warm it up. Warm up the engines.
Let it warm up.
Warm it up. Okay, it's percolating.
Crank start.
The crank. Ricky Juarez is like, hurry up.
Cranking it over.
Okay, so her and I, she got leftovers. She got some vegan cake. She's a vegan.
This is from the wedding?
No, this is from something earlier in the week.
Oh, okay.
Put it in the fridge.
Okay.
Now.
Vegan cake.
Yeah, and she.
So no eggs, no milk, no milk.
Very nice, very high. Costs a lot of money. Nice slice. It looks like a brown, perfect thing. Picture perfect. You can take a picture of this and be like, wow, wow, this looks like gourmet shit. So, she's day by day taking a bite off it.
Sure.
And puts the lid on and puts it back in the thing.
Sure.
Yeah. I say no. What are you doing? We're having I say statute of limitations on leftovers in the fridge.
No.
There's no statute of limitations?
Dude.
I say you got a 48-hour window. You got it's public domain after 3 days.
Listen, you are a sugar fiend. You always have been. Your whole family is. You guys got the sugar cravings.
Yeah.
She doesn't.
No.
So-
she has impulse control. She knows what to do. She's good.
I kind of do that sometimes with, like a little chocolate thing. I just get like a little chocolate thing. Like 2 bites of chocolate is just enough to sort of just make
That's
me
where
be like,
she's at. Yeah, no, I'm
want
tearing
any
in
more.
that. Yeah, I'm licking the wrapper after an hour.
So I get that. I know you want to go in there and just pound it down because it's a snacky thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can't. It's
And every
not
time I open the
yours.
fridge, there it is glaring at me. I'm like, oh, come on.
It's not.
You're dangling the cat toy in front of the cat.
But it's not yours.
I know. Right. And I get that. I get that it's your leftovers. I won't touch your leftovers.
So there's no 48-hour thing.
There's not a statute of limitations on the leftover.
No, it is her fucking leftovers. If she wants to nibble and bite it away, 1 bite per day
It's
over
a
the next
taunt.
2 months.
Now we're 4 days into it. It's a taunt.
That's your issue.
You're dangling the cat
problem.
toy in front of the cat toy. In front of the cat.
Nobody told the cat to come over and look.
Well, I say statute of limitations. Like if
Wait, is it in a clear container? Is that what the problem is? Are you seeing
no, this
it?
one's styrofoam, but I know it's there. If it was clear,
Styrofoam?
no, it would have got eaten.
Styrofoam.
Yeah,
Is she serious about it?
I
Get
know.
it out of the styrofoam.
that was another thing. I'm like,
That's like
now
the-
you got leftovers, and your leftover etiquette stinks.
Like the girlfriend surprised me last week. She brings home a baguette. You know what I mean? Like French bread.
Okay.
And it's in one of those bags. It's got a million tiny little holes in it.
Okay.
And I'm like, we got to get it out of this bag quick. This bag is not going to keep it from
Yeah,
going hard.
Ziploc.
Yeah, so we Ziplocked it. Or actually, I had an old bread bag around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just finished loading bread. So.
Yeah, you can't keep it in the brown paper that you brought home from the store, in
Right.
the French
It's like
style.
it's like if you get like one of those, like I like cake. Like you get one of those big fucking pieces of cake or something in that plastic clamshell. That plastic clamshell keeps nothing together.
No.
All that does is keep dust off it and keeps it from getting crushed. That's
No.
it.
Yeah, and the baguette, that thing will be a baseball bat in an hour.
Right. Oh my God, we crushed that thing.
Oh, a good
She had the
baguette.
bread knife. We were just cutting it on the angle, put a little butter on it. Oh.
Oh, good baguette.
Fucking-
and I like when
yeah.
the inside's nice and soft and the
was.
outside's tough.
It was. Yeah.
And you got a little...
yeah, I was put in a plastic container or something like that. Yeah, we kept it. It lasted 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You should make a ham and cheese sandwich with the baguette bread.
I used to. My dad was a big fan of the Italian bread.
Yeah.
So he would often grab like one of those big fat loaves of Italian bread, and then we would just use the bread knife. And so you could cut it kind of thin as you can get it with a knife, or you can cut them kind of thick.
Right, and then toaster that shit, butter it up, toaster it, and then get your cheese or whatever on it.
You can. You almost need, I can't tell you how many times, like when I was like a teenager and shit like that, I would make a sandwich, and I go to bite into it, and they would be like, bread like that thick, just the crust like up into my gums and shit.
Oh yeah, I've yeah, behind your tooth you have that. Yeah, you have like a sliver of.
So many times I just,
Yeah. Oh, but that baguette.
I've been doing. Okay, this is esoteric. 4 seconds on this, just real quick, just for you and me. Wegmans. Sometimes I get the club rolls, but this time I got like the sub rolls that have like a couple little slices in them. Boy, I do not like them.
No, they're not the pretzel bun.
No, it's not the pretzel buns, but it's like halfway between this one.
Okay.
And so it's like
a sourdough and a pretzel bun.
No, it's not sourdough. I don't like sourdough because
I
it's
don't
heartburn. But the crust on the outside, it's almost kind of tacky, a little sticky.
Yeah.
Boy, I just do not enjoy those, man. I thought it'd be a nice change up from the club rolls, but
sure. I don't like the sesame seed bun. I don't get the sesame seed.
I don't mind a sesame seed bun.
I mean, yeah, I like the visual, but there's nothing happening.
I'm not a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
You know what I used to get sometimes? Those sort of oversized. Well, when the girlfriend in Arizona, we had the grill. We make hamburgers. She wasn't just getting regular hamburger buns. We get like some nice.
Oh, the brioche.
Yeah.
The brioches.
The Kaiser roll, something like that. You know what I mean? Something tasty. Something that's
and you can open face those on the grill, and they're.
Oh yeah. Throw those on a little bit, get them a little warm. Oh, I tell you, the best burger I ever had was one fucking. She got this damn good meat from like Trader Joe's or something like that. It was like 80-20 grass-fed beef.
And you did it on the grill.
Yeah, we did it on the grill. I
can't wait for grilling. When this snow melts, I'm grilling all season. I got a Ninja pizza oven and a grill, and we're going for it. We're going outside with this shit. And I'm not going to
come over and hang out in your backyard while the weather's nice.
Yeah,
Once it gets hot summer and shit like that, I'm staying inside in the AC.
Yeah, I have AC so we can cool off, but I like the back. You gotta have it. Yeah, because you can't be running the oven in the summertime. What the fuck is I can't be cooking a burger on the skillet.
Speaking of which, did I give you an oven update?
Oh, yeah, oven update. Okay, what do you got cooking?
Well, I got nothing. There's been no update other than, we talked about this. I got to get a new oven.
Yeah. Oh, so he returned the money, couldn't get the part. Okay.
Yeah.
You and I was showing you some used ones that were good deals, but you were saying, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to throw it on the Lowe's card, and we're going to pay it off over time.
Yeah, I think logistics-wise, that makes the best thing. I mean,
but you're paying, even a scratch and dent, you're looking at about $700.
I know.
Yeah, so that's a scratch and dent. I mean, brand spanking new with a warranty, you're looking at
but the thing
$1,300.
Bear in mind, if you're talking me into going and picking up a used oven and putting it in, you're helping me.
Yeah, you're right.
It's going to be you and I schlepping that thing up the sidewalk in that tiny little door. Get that old one out of there.
We don't have a dolly. We're going to have to rent a U-Haul or a Lowe's truck. Yeah.
And a refrigerator dolly. Which, I'm good with the dollies, you know what I mean? I move video games. I'm cool with that. But it is going to be tight quarters getting through that door and moving shit around, and you know what I mean? It's going to be a hassle.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the girlfriend's like, you could pay a couple $100 more and not have to deal with any of it.
She is right. We did that with the couch, where it's like we paid the extra money to have them deliver it, and they unwrapped it, put it in place, we did it with took the boxes, and we're like...
We did it with a Lowe's dishwasher back in the day. It's just a dishwasher. You plug it in, you hook up the water drain. There's nothing much to it. I could have done it, but I'm sure it would have taken me all weekend and 5 trips to the goddamn store, and I would have been frustrated.
Yeah,
and
you
mad.
sweaty mess, and then you're stressing.
The professionals came in. She said they did it in like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I came home and I was like, you couldn't even tell anything was done. I'm like, did they come? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh shit, that is.
There is something to be said about that. I know. We paid the extra $100 for the setup, and I'm glad we did.
Yeah, I just had to put the heater on the credit card, so it's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, okay. Anyway, so yeah.
So Mike's still making dino nuggies in the toaster.
In the toaster oven. Yeah. We moved on to mini tater tots.
Oh god! Oh, mini tater tots! Come on, you're above that.
Why?
Mini tater tots, like the school ones, like that look like little ottomans.
Yeah.
Tater tots are stink.
Yeah, they're not that great, but like they seem a little bit easier to reckon with than like French fries. Like I would always get like French fries, like those crinkle cut French fries. It's like a half hour to cook those things, like 35.
You need the air fryer. That's what I'm saying. You got. Oh my God, Mike, you got an air fryer.
The toaster oven has the convection thing.
Yeah.
Where it's venting it through or whatever. I just don't know how it affects the cooking times.
The tater tot to me is just kind of generic. I don't know. I never like. I'll eat the tater tot. I'm not complaining about the tater tot. I always just felt like it's the path of least resistance.
It is. And I don't really like them because I hate onions and I can fucking. It's like they fry them in the same oil that made
the last time I did tater tots,
I could taste it.
I had some leftover taco cheese in a bag, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna salt this. I'm gonna spray these leftover taco cheese that I had. The end of the bag.
Now, is the taco cheese? Is that just the
strip shredded stuff?
It's the cheddar and the Monterey
it's a
Jack
mixture
or
of
something,
whatever.
or?
Yeah, it's a potpourri of cheeses. And you kind of.
Is it 2 or 3 cheeses?
Yeah, I always picture what you do with the tater tots is leftover condiments, leftover whatever. Oh, I got a little bit of honey mustard left in that thing. Oh, I got an old ranch thing. Oh, I got an old Arby's packet.
That's like tater tot nachos.
Yeah, you just make it's kind of like everything goes.
Yeah.
Because tater tots are just the vessel. It's a okay vessel.
I don't know about all that.
I call it the vessel. How are you going to get the flavor to the mouth? Well, the tater tots, the ship.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's the ship.
All right, let's move on from tater
Okay,
tots.
1971.
No one cares. Oh, okay, so
Graphic.
we're going to fire, time machine's warmed up. Ding.
Graphic. All right, all right, you give me one, I'll give you one. I got some factoid. Look at this. I did some show prep, Mike.
I did too. So I went and I pulled, because we're pop culture fans, so I went and I said to myself, okay, the year of our birth.
1971. We got fads. There were fads.
Yeah, there was lots of stuff going on.
Wide lapels, disco.
I thought it was pretty interesting. Do you want to go through music first?
Well, you could hit the music. I got other things. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I will say now. I don't know if you got this on your list, but on my music list.
You want to do music?
Yeah, I could tell you. Would you know what the top Billboard single was of 1971?
I have it.
I can tell you right now. No holding back.
Yeah. It's fuck, I can't read anything.
Three Dog Night.
Joy to the World? Yeah.
Yeah. Joy to the world.
I mean, that's fuck, we grew up hearing that song so much. It's awful.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, I hate the Jeremiah was a bullfrog line.
Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But the music is catchy. I like the music. It's just I thought the words were cornball as fuck.
Yeah.
But the music, all right, the song moves. All right, dun, 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 so at least it's not a drag.
I don't know. In the 70s, the folkies were doing that whole retro thing where it's like sounding like shit from the 30s or whatever. It's all like washboards and fucking kazoos,
Yeah, it's all right. It's fine. Did you know the Beatles broke up in 71? There's some music news for you. They officially called it quits because, well, not because, but one of the, John Lennon put out Imagine in 71. Imagine all the people.
Imagine a Beatle put out a solo album.
Yeah, right. They didn't do it like Kiss, where they did all the separate albums. He just went for it.
Okay. So just looking at these other, so these are like the hit songs, like the rundown of like the year of songs, right?
Right, the charts.
So you get to the Joy to the World. Next up is the Maggie May / Reason to Believe from Rod Stewart. I know the Maggie May.
Is that the Wake Up Maggie? I think I got something to say to you. Okay, all right, that's catchy.
That's a pretty good song.
I like Rod.
It's all right. Yeah, I like Rod Stewart too. I never had anything against Rod Stewart.
No, not at all.
People make jokes or whatever. I don't know what their thing is. He's got an interesting voice. I just dig
good
him.
texture.
Okay.
I like it.
And then the third song is "It's Too Late, Baby, It's Too Late," and I feel
baby, it's to turn back now.
Carole King.
Yeah,
and
Carole
then
King.
Also,
yes.
I feel the earth move
under my feet.
Yeah.
Okay, that was big. I remember that.
I remember that one. Yeah, that was everywhere.
We
on the radio.
that one.
Yeah.
That's still playing.
Number 4, the Osmonds, "One Bad Apple."
I don't know that one, and I was an Osmonds fan for sure.
I remember it was something like
I was
one bad apple
indoctrinated with it.
doesn't spoil the others, or something.
I'd probably know it if I heard it. But there is the Osmonds. See, I got to the Osmonds later on, like mid-'70s.
Right.
Which was Donnie and Marie Osmond.
Right.
Whereas we're talking the older Osmonds.
Right.
They were a thing before Donnie and Marie.
Yeah, and I never do. We heard about it, like the Osmonds.
They're the white
thing.
Mormon Jacksons.
Yeah, because for our generation, it was like Donnie and Marie were our TV friends. They had the show, and they had some songs out and shit, and we sort of knew for all the variety shows and stuff. And then people would go, "Oh, the Osmonds," and it's like, it was almost like we knew Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But people talk about the Jacksons, and you go, "Oh, that's right."
That's right.
It
Tito and them. Yeah.
It was another
There's
band.
4 others.
Yeah.
5 others.
Yeah, but I never.
Yeah,
the
they
Jacksons
were
or anything.
basically the white equivalent. They're the white suburban Mormon equivalent.
Yeah, the Mormon equivalent. Yeah. And then after that, so even from back in '71, how can you mend a broken heart? Bee Gees.
That's a ballad. How can you mend a broken heart?
Because they were huge in Australia. I'm surprised that they reached here to U.S. shores.
Oh,
as
well,
early as
disco was
71.
big. They came in on the disco
This
vessel.
is 1971. Disco is 77.
True, the explosion. Well, let's see. Maybe the Bee Gees, probably just major label stuff. A&M Records probably had them, and it was just kind of like, all right.
I know, but I didn't think they broke into the U.S. charts until the disco stuff. But
yeah,
I'm surprised to see the Bee Gees.
Because Saturday Night Fever was later on.
That's 1977.
Yeah, so you're right. That was their explosion. But maybe maybe that was early.
Yeah, apparently it filtered over
burblings.
from Australia.
Yeah,
because they were almost like a teen band in Australia.
Right.
They had like a bunch of hits and stuff.
Yeah.
And then, oh boy.
1971, here we go.
And then, wait, what did I miss here?
We're at music news.
How can you, next one is the Raiders Indian Reservation.
Oh.
Is that da-da-na-na-na, Cherokee people?
Cherokee tribe.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Yeah. I don't.
That's extremely dumb and racist.
Yeah, there were a lot of those. They were like.
Yeah, do you remember
novelty
Cher
records.
had a song that was like weirdly like.
Yeah, what was it? Half-breed.
Half-breed, yeah, weird.
Yeah.
I'm sure she wants that to go away.
No, I think she's proud of that.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Half-breed.
And then Donny Osmond had a song called "Go Away, Little Girl."
Oh, I know that one. Go away. Yeah, I know that one. I think we had that on 45 eventually.
Right.
That was the backside of a 45 of something else. I almost want to say Blue Suede Shoes was on the other side.
Ugh, awful. Children singing Blue Suede Shoes.
I know. I used to think Blue Suede Shoes was the Osmonds. Later did I realize when I got older, it was actually them doing Elvis. I knew of Osmonds before Elvis.
Actually, Elvis doing.
Yeah, because I was a dumb kid.
Was it Carl Perkins?
Yeah,
Blue Suede Shoes is Carl Perkins. Take Me Home, Country Road, John Denver.
Oh, okay. That kept through the whole 70s. It was everywhere.
It did. I'm surprised to see it this early, but I don't remember.
Yeah, you're right. That's a little early for that, but okay.
Yeah. Well, this is the whole thing. We don't remember any of this. It's just my imagination.
Well, that's Motown. Okay, the Motown was going strong still.
Yeah. Yes, Temptations always good. Knock 3 Times from Tony Orlando and Dawn. I remember Tony Orlando and Dawn.
Yeah, I know the visual. I don't know the song.
Yeah. I just remember later on they had that tie a yellow ribbon on the old.
Oh, yeah.
tree.
They were variety show staples.
Janis Joplin, Me and Bobby McGee.
You're right. She was huge. Yeah, her album was top of the heap there. The underground, the rocker kids were probably into Janis Joplin. They were also listening to the Doors because Jim Morrison died in '71.
That's right.
So Doors were hip, leaning over from the late '60s. So the hippie kids, the hipster kids that were smoking the marijuanas, were liking the Janis Joplin. Janis Joplin was, she was the Alanis Morissette of the day.
We got the Al Green, Tired of Being Alone. I
Okay.
don't recognize that one. What's that next one? Honey Cone.
I don't know that one.
Honey Cone, a song called Want Ads.
Don't know that one. No? Okay, yeah, one-offs.
Yeah, we may have maxed it out here. Undisputed Truth, Smiling Faces Sometime is a song.
No.
Cornelius Brothers and Sister Rose, Treat Her Like a Lady.
Oh, Treat Her Like a Lady.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that one,
All
yeah.
right. All right.
I didn't know who did it, though.
Rolling Stones, Brown Sugar.
Brown Sugar, that's probably a layover, but okay, Brown Sugar's been floating forever.
James Taylor, You've Got a Friend.
You've got a friend. Yeah, that's been around for a while. Yeah, James Taylor.
Mr. Big Stuff from Gene Knight.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Big Stuff. We know Mr. Big Stuff. All right,
right.
yeah, we know that tune.
Do You Know What I Mean by Lee Michaels.
No. No.
The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down.
Oh, yeah,
Joan
that's
Baez.
the band. Yeah.
No, that's Joan Baez.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They probably covered it.
Oh, okay.
77, that movie, Martin
Yeah,
Scorsese,
yeah.
or whatever.
That's a great
What's
song.
going on? Marvin Gaye.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, classic. Uncle Albert / Admiral Halsey by Paul and Linda McCartney. Must be Wings.
Yeah. I don't know much of the Wings in the
Or
McCartney
actually,
era.
before Wings, I guess.
Yeah, well, he must have been doing that. John Lennon was doing Imagine, and that's when they called the Beatles quits, you know?
Yeah. Ain't No Sunshine, Bill Withers.
Oh, yeah, that's popular. That's still, Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone. That's still popular.
Me and the girlfriend play it.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Signs, Everywhere There's Signs by the 5-man electrical
Tesla.
band. No, 5-man electrical band.
Tesla?
Yeah.
Tesla was born then.
Tom Jones, She's a Lady.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's getting...
Getting obscure.
Found
decent.
someone of my own, the Free Movement.
Yeah.
Superstar is a song called by Murray Head and the Trinidad Singers. Remember Murray Head? He had that song One Night in Bangkok in the early 80s.
No. Really? I know One Night in Bangkok. I didn't know who did it.
Murray Head. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was like Eben Ozen or some shit.
No, I had the Ebenos on him. Jerry Reed has a song on here called Amos Moses.
Oh, yeah, he did. He was fresh off yeah, Jerry Reed. Wasn't he the guy from Dukes of Hazzard?
No.
No?
No. You're thinking of Smokey and the Bandit, but Smokey and the Bandit came out in 76.
Okay. All right, we got time for that. We'll roll into Smokey and the Bandit
So,
later.
yeah, George Harrison won, Donny Osmond.
All right, that's a good
Ocean.
music run. That's a good music one for 71.
We're down to like 34, 35. I don't even hardly recognize any of these ones.
I got some factoids. We'll
Rainy
do factoids,
Days and
and
Mondays.
you can come with me on the... Then after
Okay.
I do factoids, why don't you do 1971 movies?
But wait. Before we jump off music, though, I did find this list that I thought was kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
This is NPR. This is NPR's 50 favorite songs of 1971.
Ooh,
Now,
and
the
I like NPR.
Right,
We
the
love you,
previous
NPR.
list that we were looking at is just Wikipedia,
Okay.
Billboard year-end Hot 100 singles in 1971.
Makes sense.
Okay, so that's Billboard charts of the hot singles for that one year, right? So this one is NPR's 50 favorite songs of 1971. And they say on here that these aren't necessarily the hits. So some of these songs are a little bit deeper cuts, but these are ones that they liked. And some of these I thought there's a lot of overlap, but there's a couple that I thought might be kind of interesting on their own. We'll go through it real quick here. But, overlap. Joan Baez, Night That Drove Old Dixie Down.
Good song.
The band with Bob Dylan, When I Paint My Masterpiece.
I don't know that song, but I know the band. Yeah, that's the one they probably did in the movie, right? When he came on stage at the theater. Yeah.
Black Sabbath, Sweet Leaf.
Sweetleaf was on there. There we go.
That's what I'm saying. That's not on the Billboard list, but that's legendary.
Right. That's what. Yeah, I want to know what the Stoner kids were up to. And there we go. They got the Sweetleaf. They got the. We know what the Stoner records were doing.
And this apparently wasn't a hit in 71, but David Bowie's Changes.
Okay, changes. Yes. Okay. All right. That's where the Stoner kids are at. The high school kids.
Also, David Bowie, Life on Mars was also
I
71.
like that song. I love when people remake that song. I've heard some local or some modern remakes of that. Haunting. Great song to redo.
There's a band called Can with a song called Mushroom. Never heard of it,
Never heard of it.
but they liked it. Carpenters song Superstar.
Okay. Carpenter.
Leonard Cohen, Famous Blue Raincoat.
Oh, Leonard Cohen. Okay, he was the Hallelujah guy, wasn't he?
Yeah. Alice Coltrane, Karen Dalton, Something on Your Mind.
Okay.
John Denver, Take Me Home Country Road.
Okay.
Lee Dorsey, Freedom from the Stallion.
Okay.
Nick Drake, Northern Sky.
Oh, Nick Drake. Nick Drake was the original grunge. He tuned down to D before anybody. He was
really?
an acoustic guy, long-haired dude. He sang like Eddie Vedder, and he was the drop. He was one of the early drop D,
Interesting.
but he was a folk guy. But he would drop D on the folk, and he sounded a lot like Eddie Vedder. If you listen to old Nick Drake, you'll
He
go, wow,
died in
he's-
74 at the age of 26 from
Yep.
an antidepressant overdose.
Yep. He
never heard of him.
He was the arguably one of the godfathers of that grunge sound. Weirdly enough, yeah. But he was a folk guy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of him.
Oh no, yeah, Nick Drake. Yeah, Paper Moon was the song he had that I liked.
Aretha Franklin, Rock Steady. Funkadelic, Maggot Brain.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was one of their best.
Right? Marvin Gaye, Mercy, Mercy Me.
Okay.
What's Going On? Marvin Gaye, of course. Serge Gainsborough, Melody. Al Green, Let's Stay Together.
Okay.
Al Green, Tired of Being Alone.
All right. All good songs?
Those two kind of go together. He's tired of being alone. Let's stay together.
Yeah. All right.
Shaft.
Shaft?
Theme song from Shaft.
Okay. Which came first, chicken or egg? The song or was Shaft out on television movie or television?
No, the song was made for the movie.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Carole King, It's Too Late. Freddie King, Going Down. Led Zeppelin, When the Levee Breaks.
Ah, there we go. I knew it. The Stoner Kids are onto the Zeppelins.
Curtis Mayfield, Joni Mitchell. You know what I mean? Dolly Parton, Coat of Many Colors. So, I thought they had a couple interesting 1971 songs.
I like that list better. That was more indicative of what people were listening to as opposed to the chart. Because as we know, the charts are just like what the radio's playing.
Right, like they got Gil Scott-Heron, The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. Like, that's jazz, like, I think.
Yeah.
Sly
But
and the
that's
Family
the
Stone,
most famous
Family Fair.
sample of them all. The revolution will not be televised when that black guy says that.
Right.
That is one of the most highly sought after samples of them all, public domain.
All right, so I thought the Who Won't Get Fooled Again. You know what I mean? Like these came out in '71. So there you go. So
Because
I thought
those are a lot of the post bands that okay. Now they didn't mention like the Jimi Hendrixes and the people like that.
he died in September '70.
Right, but you got to figure all the bands that played at the Monterey Pop Festival, that was his big gig, were probably the zeitgeist of the time that the stoner kids, like if we had a time machine and our buddies were hanging out and we're all smoking pot with the poets and the fucking hippies, that's what we're listening to. We're going from the folk weirdos to the rock and roll hippies.
I guess. I never got the folk thing. The folk thing always made me insane.
I liked the idea behind it. I just felt it was a little sleepy. Like I felt there's no octane. I needed more octane in my gas, but I liked the message and I liked where they're going with it. But see, that was you had the songs where they were like, oh, let's protest the war songs, but then they would throw Puff the Magic Dragon in there, and you go, I don't want to hear Puff the Magic Dragon. That stinks.
I fucking hated Puff the Magic Dragon.
And then I don't want to hear politics. So the two worlds, so the folk world was kind of like fighting itself with fantasy and revolution,
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, your content stinks. That's why Dick Drake, who we just talked about, he was ahead of it all. He was in neither. He would just write like a song about Paper Moon, about staring at the paper moon, tune his guitar down, and he was cool. He did it in a weird kind of stonery, kind of cool, unpretentious way. That wasn't cornball.
So much of that shit was pretty.
Yeah, a lot of shit was cornball. The creativity level. But that was the beauty of the '71. A lot of things were going on. Let's get into it. Okay, now in 1971. Guess what happened here? We got Walt Disney World opened in California.
Disney World
in California.
No.
Yeah.
No, Florida. Disneyland opened in California in 1956.
Walt Disney World was Florida. Yeah. And guess how much? A ticket was $3.50.
Yeah.
So also, Charles Manson and his followers, they were sentenced for the murders.
Right.
D.B. Cooper hijacked that plane over Washington State.
You always think of him as the 60s because of that suit he was wearing with the skinny tie.
Yeah, in the picture. And,
70,
the Pan Am plane he jumped off of was kind of 60-ish looking.
Oh, yeah. Was that 70 or 71?
71. Gillette introduced the double blade shaving tool.
Really? Gillette's a scam, yeah.
Okay, how about this? Betty Crocker's crock pot was a huge sensation. It sold over 100 million units at that point.
In 71?
Yep.
That's when the crock pot came out, huh?
The crock pot, in 1 year, it sold 100 million things. The crock pot exploded, literally.
That's interesting. I mean, I don't know, was your family big on the crock pot? My mom?
My mom, once a week. That was almost like she had to work late on Wednesdays. Okay, we're going to have stew in the crock pot.
Right, yeah, my mom was always like, she'd put stuff in the stew with the crock pot. She'd always be like, when you get home from school, check on the crock pot, whatever.
Right, yeah. When you get home, check on the crock pot, make sure it's not on fire.
I always got the sense that the crock pot had been around for decades before we were born. But
yeah. Yeah, because it's essentially a pressure cooker, and pressure cooker...
No.
I don't know, it felt like a pressure cooker.
No. The whole point of a pressure cooker is that lid is latched on so that it can build pressure inside.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the crock pot, we could lift the lid.
Plastic,
yeah, we could lift the lid and scoop some out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of that fucking magma in the volcano.
So, okay, here's what else was 71.
I'm surprised that the crock pot was only 71.
But the big fat, 100 million units.
Yeah, well.
Guess what else was the first frozen margarita mixer for at home came out then.
Oh, for home.
Yeah, for home use. The founder, Starbucks was founded. The first Starbucks opened in 1971 in Seattle, Washington. I love me the Starbucks. Yeah. McDonald's introduced the quarter pounder.
That's nuts. Now, I was watching one of those History Channel shows, like the Foods That Built America or something like that. Mm-hmm. You know, it was Burger King that forced that whole thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They came out with the Whopper.
Oh, so it was the war. It was the burger war.
And then McDonald's is like, we got to have a signature burger.
Yeah.
And it's nutty that it's that late in the game.
That's 71 seems kind of late for that because
it really does.
The burger and fries joint was popping through the 50s.
50s and 60s with the car hops and the malt shop shit.
Yeah, so 71, they're a little late to the game, but okay, they're still going. I know,
but you can see definitely how McDonald's was resting on its laurels.
Yeah.
Doing fucking dick all. Until Burger came in.
Yeah.
And said, we got the Whopper here.
Yeah, we got it.
McDonald's like, oh, we need to make a Big Mac.
So since, okay, you did music, you can do movies next, but we got some more products here. I'll go products. Guess what?
I got TV and then I got movies.
Okay. We got the first microprocessor was invented. That made the first stand-up arcade game, Pong, of course. The first arcade game was invented then. Now that same microprocessor, get this, was the...
Do you have what it was?
Huh?
Do you have what the microprocessor was? Was it a Motorola?
No, I don't have that listed. It's an easy Google, I'm sure. The LED, liquid crystal displays were invented.
No. Wait a minute. You said LED, that's a light-emitting diode, and then you said LCD, which is a liquid crystal display.
Yeah, the LCD, yes.
Okay.
I meant LCD. Yes.
All right. That shit was everywhere when we were kids.
Yeah.
Fucking calculators and shit.
Well, that was the next one. The first pocket calculator was invented in 1971.
But they didn't have the solar ones yet.
Oh, God, no.
I remember the little solar ones, and my mom would have them with a little case, and it didn't have an off button. You open it up, and it turns on, you know.
Yeah, no battery. Yeah, it was the first thing with no battery. And I always remember thinking, why isn't everything like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first laser printer was involved, or the first laser print jet. I don't know where it might have been at like MIT or some shit. I'm sure it wasn't for use. What else we got here? Wait.
Yeah, it's probably invented in 71.
I got some other facts.
Computers weren't. People didn't need it.
Yeah, the pocket calendar. Let's see. I got. Nixon declared the war on drugs. Okay, whatever. We'll stay out of politics. 26th Amendment. 18-year-olds could vote in 1971.
What was it before that?
I don't know. You had to be, I don't know, male and white. I don't know. I know there's a lot of women.
Landowner.
You had to own a plantation.
You had to be wearing a suit with a tie.
You had to look like Colonel Sanders. No, 26th Amendment was invoked, which was 18-year-olds could vote.
Invoked.
Yeah, 18-year-olds. So they moved to 18-year-olds. Yeah. So you got movies coming up. Oh, here's the other invention. The Willy Wonka Candy Company came out.
Right, now.
Which will tie into your movies, but the Willy Wonka now they were the ones who came up with the Nerds and the Gobstoppers and the Laffy Taffy.
So, the movie with Gene Wilder came out in 71.
Right.
I believe 71 or 70.
Good transition.
I only saw it much later when I was like 8 or 9 on television.
You're right.
I remember we were living in Oakmont, so it was before we moved up to Minneapolis, so I was before 10.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing it, and I had no idea it existed. I had no context for it. I was like, it was kind of like those stop motion animated Christmas things.
Yeah.
I would watch those when I was a kid. I'm like, where did this come from? When did this get made? Who made this? How did this get made?
They played it like a special. As long as I can remember, it was like Easter time or something. It was around Easter, maybe like the weekend after Easter or something. Willy Wonka's going to be on.
Yeah, and I remember I think it was ABC. They would have the SMF Holiday Network. And that little promo thing would come on the SMF Holiday Network, and it would do a little fanfare thing. And then they would roll a thing. And sometimes it was something dumb like Water Babies, that British animated thing.
Right.
And sometimes it was like, and it was the Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and I was like, I was so blown away. Just like I was like, who makes this? Why? Like the tone of it, it's a very odd tone.
Yeah.
If you don't know anything about it, you know.
Yeah. Wizard of Oz had the same kind of tone to me.
I mean, Wizard of Oz was more straightforward.
Yeah.
I mean, with Willy Wonka, it's like, it's about Charlie and his family and his grandparents that all stay in a bed. They all together.
Yeah, I didn't get that part.
A crumbling house. I'm like, what is this, 1890s?
Yeah.
Is this Victorian London?
Yeah, Grandpa was sick, but then he went with him. But okay.
And then Grandpa's like, I can't get out of bed. Oh, whoa, we're going to go have some fun.
I can get in bed to go to Willy Wonka's house. But I was always kind of creeped out by Gene Wilder. Everyone found him funny. I remember my parents laughing at Gene Wilder because I didn't realize the allure of Gene Wilder till later.
I did.
I didn't see him funny. I thought he was kind of creepy because the eyes were kind of like that. And I remember thinking like, I don't know, he makes me uncomfortable. Like I thought he was more of a bad guy as opposed to a good guy.
And that's definitely the way that he wanted to play Willy Wonka. When you
Right.
don't know where he's at.
Right.
So you're always sort of questioning stuff. I know my mom was a big fan of Gene Wilder, and I remember like when I was a kid, like she had us watching. I don't know if she had us watching or I had the interest in. I just remember watching early Mel Brooks movies. Like
History of the World,
like High Anxiety, shit like that.
Yeah,
I saw Young Frankenstein when I was really young.
Young Frankenstein. That's how I remember him. Yeah,
that's probably where I first saw Gene Wilder.
Yeah,
and I knew he was in The Producers, and I think I tried to watch The Producers, and I was like, this is the most boring thing ever when you're like 10.
Yeah, this is boring.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think I kind of knew who Gene Wilder was. Yeah. But his character that he was playing, it wasn't the typical Gene Wilder character. So it's kind of like
Willy Wonka was kind of weird.
But then I heard, not knowing anything about Willy Wonka, at some point, like a couple of years later, I heard about and I heard that they made the movie to promote this line of Willy Wonka candies that they were starting. And I was like, they did? I never saw any of that shit until much, much later, like the 80s.
Yeah.
I would see like Nerds. And I would go,
yeah, that was
Nerds,
I thought Nerds was an 80s thing.
And it would go like Willy Wonka, like Wonka candy or something like that. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
I'm like, oh, is that a real thing? You know what I mean? I thought somebody started a company in the 80s to cash in on the nostalgia from the 70s.
That's kind of where I was thinking too. I didn't realize that it was just roped together.
Like
marketing plan.
Like literally, they made the movie just to promote the candies in the company in 1970 or 71, which I was like. Yeah,
how are we doing on time? Well, all right, get me to the movies. Okay, so that's a good one. We know Willy Wonka was 1971.
Yeah. Let's hit up some movies from 71 real quick because I thought. So this is North America, U.S. and Canada domestic movie chart for 1971.
Oh, okay. I wonder if they're on my because I got a little tiny list here of them, so we'll see if we hit them.
So these are the top grossing movies. I've got the top grossing movies list, but then also I've got this other list I've got, which I believe is just. All the movies released in 71.
Yeah, that might be excessive, but top gross. See, now in those days, 71, you got to think top gross, and people would just go to the movies.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're gonna go see a new whatever movie. Like Dad would go to the movies just for the sake of going to the movies.
People were conditioned on Saturday night or Wednesday night or whatever the fuck. You go to the movies.
Yeah.
You go see whatever's playing because back then this is before Jaws and the wide release.
Yeah.
They would only release. They would have like 3 copies of a movie. And the copies of the movie would tour around the country.
Yes.
So the movie is in Seattle for 2 weeks.
Yeah, the bigger cities.
Then
and then
they
come to the secondary markets like the Pittsburghs and Clevelands, you know.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then we would get it like the 3rd week later.
Yeah.
And then my dad would go, okay, everyone's talking all about this new movie, blah, blah, blah.
And that was the thing. Back then you could have people talking about the movie.
Yeah.
And I only really got that when a friend of mine started going to film festivals.
Oh.
And she would tell me about movies that she saw at film festivals like 2 years before it got released. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Okay, So top grossing movies of 71. This is interesting, I find, because of the sensibilities. We're coming out of the 60s, which was a very naturalistic filmmaking style. John Cassavetes stuff. They were stripping away the artifice of the old studio system, the big blockbusters, the showy show tunes. It was realism, right? So you look at like an Easy Rider or something like that. They're trying for naturalism and realism. Cinema verite, they call it. Right? Number one movie earning money in 71, Billy Jack.
Oh, that's a vigilante movie, wasn't it?
Right?
Legend of Billy Jack or Billy Jack, yeah.
It grossed $98 million.
Ooh, that's pretty big money.
Yeah, on a fucking almost nothing budget. Next, number two, Fiddler on the Roof.
Oh, okay.
Killed it. People loved it.
Now, were they taken off the, was that before the Broadway Fiddler on the Roof? Or is that a remake thereof of the Broadway?
I have no idea. I really have no information on that. I would assume it's after the stage play.
Yeah, I would assume the stage play was cooking quicker, because in New York City and blah, 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 and it's cooking around in the late 60s, Fiddler on the Roof. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think my dad lived in New York City in the late 60s, so he probably saw Fiddler on the Roof, I would assume.
Yeah.
And they make a movie later on after the fact.
Yeah.
Cash in on it.
Definitely makes sense on that. Number three, Diamonds Are Forever, James Bond.
Yeah, I had that on my list, yeah.
Yeah.
James Bond. We don't talk about James Bond too much, but okay.
I love the... well, we can talk about James Bond anytime, yeah. Number four, The French Connection.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I had that on my list too. French Connection.
I think I've seen a lot of it. I know that legendary car chases, there's French Connection, and then there's Bullet.
Yes, the car chase.
And so apparently, the car chase is actual.
Oh, like live action, like they really
strapped the
chasing.
camera on the front of the car, and they were hauling ass through traffic.
Right.
They didn't close down the streets.
Yeah, because
they couldn't get permits.
That was pre-Grand Prix. What?
Did you?
Yeah, you showed me the thing on Grand Prix.
Patrick H. Willems on the internet does great videos. He had one talking about how was it 68 or 70, this filmmaker made a movie called Grand Prix.
Yep.
And he was putting the cameras on the cars and shit like that. Like
yeah,
right
on the
behind
wheel
wheels
well of
stuff.
these Grand Prix racers.
Crazy shots that have never been done before. Because they were able to get cameras that were small enough. And it's probably because of the NASA stuff.
Yeah.
The shrunk down movie cameras.
And pre that, everything was green screen.
Yeah.
Or they would film like the car next to a car. Like they'd be on the back of a truck filming you.
Well, the way to do it, the process is to have a process trailer. You got a trailer with a car on it. And then you mount the cameras to that trailer as well.
Right.
So the actors in the car, the
Grand
cameras.
Prix, they put it right on the front of the fucking car.
Yeah, they put it on the actual
Now,
car.
French Connection was kind of the car chase, that mixed with live action. We're not going to cut. We're going to have like a whole 5-minute scene that is no cuts, and they're zoom, zoom, zoom.
Well, I mean, it's all cuts, but it's just action, 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 action.
Yes.
There's no dialogue. They don't cut back to people. It's cars in the streets, cars in the streets.
Yeah.
Skidding chaos. And have you ever seen the car chase from Bullet, the Steve McQueen one, where it's in San Francisco? He's in like a 1970 Mustang Boss 302.
No.
That's like crazily overpowered, and he's just tearing ass, jumping through the streets. That's a very kinetic, visceral car chase, man. That's like, holy shit, that'd get you jumpy. So anyway, so that's a good one.
French Connection.
All right, so French Connection, that was a good one. Okay. Now we're starting to get into it. Okay. You ever heard of this movie? The Summer of 42.
No.
Okay. It's sort of a World War II, coming-age World War II movie. It's not our generation. It means nothing to us. Next, number 6, Dirty Harry.
Oh, the first Dirty Harry. Clint Eastwood.
In 71.
Was that his debut?
No. He was a Western actor.
Oh, that's right. So he was already big box office. He was already selling tickets. His face alone made Dirty Harry good.
Dirty Harry started a whole genre of Clint Eastwood doing cop movies, which also turned into Clint Eastwood doing Secret Service movies. It also jumped off the whole vigilante thing.
Right, the Charles Bronsons. And
Death Wish.
Yeah.
The Death Wish series.
Oh, yeah. And the gun. The big fucking gun.
The big 44 Magnum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make my day.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the one that said make my day? And it was probably from that.
Yeah, he was chasing the street punk. He gets down by the marina. The kid falls down on the dock. And he's pointing the gun at him. And he goes, and he goes, "This is a Smith & Wesson 44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world. It holds 6 bullets, and you got to ask yourself, did I shoot 5 bullets or did I shoot 6 bullets? So you got to ask yourself, do you feel lucky, punk? Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, big deal in 71.
All right.
Next after that, Clockwork Orange.
Of course. Now that's a stoner classic.
I don't know about stoner classic, but...
I watched it Stone many times as a youngster, and yeah, it creeped me out. I didn't catch that till the 90s. I didn't watch that till 90.
Right. That's a very, very disturbing movie.
Very dystopian, very wacky. Yeah.
Very dystopian, very stylistic, very futuristic, and it's based off a book. You know what I mean? So all that's sort of baked into the subtext and everything. But yeah, Clockwork Orange, which was like banned in England for like 30 years. They couldn't release it in England.
Weird.
Yeah.
There's nothing real other than beating up the bums while the Beethoven's playing and they're beating up the homeless folk.
Well, there was
I could see where that would have been disturbing.
Where they break into that lady's house and rape her.
Oh
kill her.
Yeah.
There was actually a crime that was very similar to that happened about the time that the movie was being released, and there was a huge public outcry in Britain. Degradation of the moral fabric of the country. So it was actually banned in Britain until the 90s or 2000s or something.
Yeah, can you imagine 71? Everyone was a little square and uptight. So man, really that movie must have came across, because I mean, I was uncomfortable with it in 92. I can't imagine in 71. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. Number 8, Last Picture Show. You ever see that one?
Huh.
Black and white, Jeff Bridges, Sybil Shepherd. It's Peter Bogdanovich thing. Coming of age story of kids in Texas.
Yeah, young Sybil Shepherd. She was probably young then. Okay.
Yeah. I never really saw it.
No,
there's a lot of those 60s coming of age movies that I don't like. Like Breaking Away with the kids riding the bikes.
Yeah.
Diner. Like I don't.
Yeah, I'm aware of them.
Yeah, it's not my thing. Number 9, Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Yeah. Yeah, we like Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
It's a weird fucking movie, man.
It is. There's the witch aspect of it, but
I love those Disney. I love the 1971 sort of movies because it's this meeting of the old school 50s, 60s thing, which is sort of the last vestiges of the studio systems from the 20s and 30s, right?
Yeah.
That old school stuff coming through. And then the sort of newer sensibilities. The two of them crashing together and stuff.
Yeah, and that was one of those ones. That was like Escape from Witch Mountain.
Exactly.
Which would have the same kind of thing, you know, or the Herbie the Love Bugs. And
right,
those.
So it's sort of this Disney movie, sort of a new style of movie, doing it in a new way,
but
it's got Betty Davis.
New.
And you're like, holy shit, Betty Davis is in this.
Yeah, so they take old Hollywood and mix it with this new flashy, colorful.
I find it fascinating.
You're right, that's a whole genre in itself, kind of in a weird way.
Like, for example, Peter Bogdanovich, who directed Last Picture Show, his first movie, maybe it was his student film, it was called Signals, something like that. It's about a high school kid, who becomes a freeway shooter in California. He just gets a high-powered rifle, goes up on this fucking hill overlooking the highway, and just starts targeting cars.
Oh, geez, we had that in the fucking...
As they shoot by. But the hero of the movie is Boris Karloff, playing himself. And the last act of the movie takes place at a drive-thru, where they're showing the Boris Karloff movie, which is Jack Nicholson's first movie, The Terror, I believe it is being shown on screen. So they've got Boris Karloff stopping the gunman behind the screen that's got Boris Karloff.
Wow, weird.
It's a very trippy movie because the lead up to the kid becoming the freeway shooter, there's virtually no dialogue.
Wow.
It's just him doing things. You know, it's a very interesting movie. Okay. Number 10. Sweetback's Badass Song. Melvin Van Peebles?
I don't know it.
Blaxploitation sort of Western movie? Yeah.
I don't know it.
All right. Willard. The one with the rats.
Huh?
The guy talking to the rats. Isn't that Willard?
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Yeah, we're getting deep. So that was 11. 12, The Hospital. Clute. Andromeda Strain?
Okay, that was a book. That was a Michael Crichton book, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
It was. And then Escape from the Planet of the Apes.
Escape from the Planet of the Apes was there.
Hitting your wheelhouse. You love that one.
I love the apes.
Shaft, 71, of course.
Shaft, yeah.
Cold Turkey. Play Misty for Me. Another Clint Eastwood one.
Play Misty for Me was, that was the one where he's the radio DJ.
He's the radio DJ.
Yeah.
And
there's the stalker.
Yeah, what's her face is a stalker. What was her name? Forget. Big Dollhouse, McCabe and Mrs. Miller. Big Jake, The $1 Million Duck. Remember that? It was a Disney movie.
No.
I think it was Kurt Russell maybe in it.
Oh, geez.
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Murmur of the Heart, The Beguiled. Okay. So those are the top 25 grossing movies of 1971.
Well,
all right.
I got other things for 71. We got to do this quick because we got a list coming up.
All right, you want to move on? You want to hit any TV stuff? I mean, the list is sort of kids' TV.
Yeah, so we'll stay there. Now, we know what was popular on TV at the time. We can go Gunsmoke, Bonanza, that was there. Flip Wilson Show.
Yeah.
Sanford and Son and Lucy was still hopping.
Yeah, Sanford and Son was new. Lucy was a holdover. Those westerns are all holdovers.
Yeah, Hawaii Five-0. Mary Tyler Moore was big.
But I think Hawaii Five-0 switched to color, which gave it a boost.
Okay. All right.
Because I think that was one of those ones. It's like fucking Dragnet.
Right.
There's old Dragnets in black and white. You hardly ever get to see them because they never put them on TV.
Right. Yeah, because they're probably questionably racist.
I think that's why they don't put them on TV.
Yeah, right. Questionably racist. All in the Family debuted.
Right, so I've got on this list of top-rated U.S. programming from 71 to 72, I've got All in the Family #1.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
And #2 was the Flip Wilson Show. Now, I wonder if the success of the Flip Wilson Show is what ushered in the whole decade of variety shows of the 70s that you and I grew up on. Everybody had a variety show.
You're right.
I mean, the Osmonds had a variety show. The Brady Bunch had a variety show. Everybody had a variety show. Sha Na Na was a variety show. Cher and Sonny, or Sonny and Cher as the case may be, had a variety show.
Yeah, everyone did. I think, but I wonder if it was since the Vegas explosion was happening too.
That is true.
And you know, and the shows were kind of Vegas-y. Vegas was a huge deal.
Because of Elvis, right? Well, I mean, the Brat Packy stuff in the 60s,
yeah,
or the Rat Pack, and then, but Elvis was sort of bringing it back around late 60s.
So it was always in the zeitgeist, the variety show, yeah.
Well, yeah, because it's, holdover from vaudeville,
Yeah.
Yeah, shit like Marcus Welby, Gunsmoke. #5, ABC Movie of the Week.
Oh, yeah. There's
whatever it fucking was.
Yeah,
it didn't even matter what the movie was.
Yeah, I know. I remember it'd be big in the TV guide, and then it'd be like, oh, your mom's making you watch Thornbirds or something.
So this is the interesting thing. There's this documentary called The Last Mogul. They talk about this guy, Lou Wasserman, who was running MCA. He actually came out of the Jewish mafia when MCA is the Music Corporation of America. Were running jukeboxes based out of Cleveland. He ended up being a big player in Hollywood. And that's why, like, when we were kids, you'd see the Universal logo. At the bottom, it would say an MCA Corporation. That was him. They got it to where MCA, they were television production. They were where other studios wouldn't even make TV shows. They would just have MCA, Universal Television, make the shows.
So maybe those conspiracy theory people are right. The Jews were on Hollywood.
I don't know about all that. But
Kanye's right.
But this guy Lou Wasserman came up with the idea of a made-for-TV movie, and so he started doing the made-for-TV movies.
And it was billed as such. So it didn't matter what it was. It was just like, tonight, you're going to watch at 8 o'clock on Wednesday, made-for-TV movie on ABC.
I remember they did Rich Man, Poor Man, whatever the hell that was. I remember they did Shogun.
Shogun, yes, that was a big deal. I remember my parents.
Clavel novel?
James Clark, yeah.
Cavill?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I remember it was a 3-night special. It was 3 nights in a row.
yeah, that was the thing.
Shogun was 3 nights.
It would be like Wednesday night, 7 to 9, or 8 to 10, or whatever. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Boom.
Yeah,
like
the parents would be like, time to go to bed, Shogun's on.
Yeah, because Thornbirds, The Blue and the Gray, because it started off with Movie of the Week. It was a made-for-TV movie. And then they started making these mini-series.
Yeah.
Where it was like, it was a couple, like Roots. That was
Roots was, yeah.
That was the big one. Yeah. But yeah, the ABC Movie of the Week. So I think that was a relatively recent invention.
Yeah.
Around this time.
Cool, though.
Also,
I see where it worked.
Also, let me just throw it out there before we finish up movies. Also, don't forget, in 1970, the MPAA came up with the ratings code.
Oh, like R. They didn't have PG-13 yet, but it was PG-R.
PG-13 was because of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Yeah, so rated G, rated PG, R, X, maybe triple X if they had it.
Right. No, that was an MPAA thing. But because of the rating system, then in the 70s, you could get boobs in movies.
Boobs in movies in the 70s.
And as a big
and
fan
that's where
of-
every film owner or film guy had to put a set of boobs in the TV, you know?
When we were growing up, by the early 80s, it was literally a gratuitous boob shot in movies that it had no business being in.
Yeah, there had to be boobs.
There's a gratuitous boob shot in Airplane.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, there'd just be like, some girl would come around. Yeah, it was like Benny Hill show level.
It was.
Only real boobies.
And we were so used to it at the time that to us, it was just like, yeah, like why would there not be boobs in a movie? But now looking back on it, I can be like, why?
Yeah.
None of it made sense.
Yeah, it was pointless. Yeah, it was like a reason. Yeah, I know. It'd be like watching Porky's. Okay.
Porky's. Yeah, we'll go through just a couple of these real quick. Sanford and Son is on the list. Mannix. Funny Face, Adam 12. Love Adam 12.
I never saw Adam 12, but I was aware of it.
You didn't watch it when you were a kid?
No. My brother talked about it. My brother said, you got to see this.
Emergency 51 and Adam 12 were the greatest things. Yeah. Mary Tyler Moore show.
Yeah.
Here's Lucy, Hawaii Five-0, Medical Center, NBC Mystery Movie. Ironside, Partridge Family, the new Dick Van Dyke Show, Wonderful World of Disney.
That was a Sunday night. That was Sunday evening.
But here's the interesting thing is, Disney started on television in the 50s. They literally saved the ABC network from going out of business.
Yes.
So Disney was on ABC, Wonderful World of Disney, Wonderful World of Disney in Color, all these things was on ABC. This, Wonderful World of Disney, NBC. NBC stole it away.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think that's interesting.
We're running along. We're at 117, dude.
Okay. All right. So that's TV shows. Let's hit it up into, we'll jump from the TV shows.
1971. Here we go. We've been there.
Into the, where did I do
We'll do the list real quick.
Yeah.
We can't pontificate too far in the list because we're getting in the fucking marathon show here. This will be the longest episode ever. All right, you find your list. I got another couple 71 facts here before we go. Did you know FedEx was created in 1971 by a guy named Fred Smith? Why he didn't call it FredEx, I don't know. But a stamp was 8 cents. The poodle was the most popular pet. The American Kennel Club recognized 117 dog breeds.
Wow, just that year?
Yeah. Check this out. The first World Series baseball game was at night. The first night game was in 1971. Before that, it was always during the day. The Ali Frazier fight was 1971. Frazier beat Ali. So no more, So that was a big deal. And hey, check this out. You're going to like this one, guys. A new house averagely cost $25,000. Harvard tuition was $2,600 a year. A new car averagely was $3,500. Gas was 40 cents a gallon, and the average rent was $150 a month. And the average loaf of bread was 25 cents. 25 cents for a loaf of bread, and the average median income in a house in 1971 was $10,600. 1971. Fuck you. Fuck you. And I was born, and this stinks. I didn't ask to be born, but here I am. It wasn't my fault.
Actually, I might be having a hard time finding that fucking list. We may have to put it off.
All right, no list this week. That's okay, though. We had a good, solid episode. We talked 1971.
We covered a lot of stuff in 71.
No list. Maybe next week we'll do 1972 or maybe every other episode.
Oh, no, here it is. We
got to do this quick.
All right, so real quick. This is Top 5, Bottom 5, 70s live action kids TV shows.
Oh, kids shows.
All right, you want to do best or worst?
Best.
Best first? Okay.
5.
Okay, so these are my 5. Number 5, Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. Remember that one?
I know what you're talking about. Never seen it. It was a little before my time. That's something my brother would have watched.
Yeah,
I probably don't remember it, but I remember that weird sea monster creature, which is kind of weird.
And that was kind of the only one of the Croft shows that was actually kind of on at the time when we were kids.
It was a layover.
Yeah, we didn't see it originally. It was on 73 to 75, so I must have seen it at some point in 75. Number 4, Wonder Bug. Remember that one?
No.
It was a dune buggy that sort of talked. The grill talked.
Oh, it was like a
live
really?
action.
Wow, so that's probably where they got the old Hanna-Barbera stole the idea.
Yeah, that was 76 to 78. That was kind of late.
Okay.
There were 15-minute episodes. Number 3, best kids live action TV shows. Land of the Lost.
Oh, I love the Sleestacks,
Right.
Land of the Lost, Marshall, Will, and Holly on a routine expedition.
Right.
We got it. Oh, love Land of the Lost.
That one ran 74 to 77 on NBC, and then
Chukka?
and then 78 in reruns. And then they ran it on CBS in 85.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Land of the Lost.
Yeah.
And it's in 85, I think I remember, they put it on Saturday morning cartoons. It was somewhere in there around noon.
Yep. And number 2, Lancelot Link, Secret Chimp. You remember that one?
Wow, a chimp show. There's a couple chimp shows from when I was a kid, but I don't know that one.
Lancelot Link, I stumbled across it sometime in the early 80s. It was hysterical.
Really?
It was James Bond with chimps. They had to wear little suits. They were like that, and they would have dubbing going on over it. It's hysterical.
Wow, they
Link,
ought to
Secret
remake
Chimp
that one.
is fucking hysterical.
I'll have to tune into that one. I'm gonna have to watch an old episode and tell you what I think.
So it ran
Gotta be on YouTube.
1970 to 72, 17 episodes.
We love monkeys.
First season had hour-long shows, but they would put Warner Brothers cartoons in between.
Oh, okay.
And then the second season was just half hour, and it was all Lancelot Link.
Lancelot Link.
Secret Chimp. It's
Secret chimp, and he was a secret agent chimp.
And it
But
was
he was
C
he would
period,
solve.
H period, I period, M period. M period.
All right, hey, I like that idea. They
Lancelot
ought to
Link.
remake that. Come on.
It's so fucking funny. I don't know. It's dumb. It makes me laugh.
No,
All right.
I could see loving it as a kid. I just probably never had the chance to see it, but I would have loved it.
Number 1, Electric Company, 71 to 77.
It had all marks. Electric Company had everything.
Loved it.
Parents put us in front of the Electric Company.
Loved
That
it.
was the one you would watch right after lunch. Like parents would make you some soup and crackers, and they go, "Okay, I'm gonna go watch TV now." And then there you go. Electric Company was on.
Yeah, I would say
Electric Company had things in it. Everything from learning, blah, blah, blah. But Blue Beetle was in there. Spider-Man was in there. But also Electric Company had Muppets and had all kinds of things. It was the variety show for us.
I'm going to go through this worst list really quick.
Okay.
Some of these you may not know.
Okay.
But I've got some descriptions. If you want a little bit further info, let me know.
Lay it on me.
Okay, first off, this first one.
I farted.
Do you remember the Tenacious D movie? Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Remember there was a bit in there where Jason Black was imagining that Bigfoot was his dad?
Oh, right, yeah.
That is from a show
Okay.
that was in the 70s. I don't really remember this. I sort of remember it a little bit. It was called Bigfoot and Wild Boy.
No,
It was on ABC from 77 to 78 as part of the Croft Super Show. And in 79, it was on its own.
I can see where they would
Orphaned
think
at
it
a
was
young age, Wild Boy was raised in the Pacific Northwest by Bigfoot, a large hairy man-thing. Together, Bigfoot and Wild Boy combated the various forces of evil in their part of the country.
Wow.
Terrible.
It sounds horrible,
Yeah.
but delightfully horrible. That would be a good one to just riff watch.
Yeah, I've never seen an
And riff on
episode, but when I watched that Tenacious D movie, which I thought was hysterical and genius all the way through, that part I was like, I'm not sure I'm getting this. I remember, Bigfoot was a big thing when we were kids. You know, Bigfoot and then the whole
$6 million man.
$6 million man thing and everything. But apparently the show,
Okay.
hysterical. Okay, next terrible show, Bugaloos.
The Bugaloo.
Remember this?
Yeah.
It was sort of live action. It was.
Kind of like the Wiggles before the Wiggles.
The Bugaloos were 4 singing teenagers with wings who live in Tranquility Forest with their friend Sparky. Sparky the Firefly. Their lives would have been fairly tranquil if it wasn't for the evil Benita Bazaar and her assistants, the appropriately named Flunky Rat, Woofer, and Tweeter.
Woofer and Tweeter. Oh, my God. Speakers. Yeah.
Bugaloos.
Yeah. Stinks.
Okay, number 3, terrible show. Dr. Shrink on ABC from 76 to 77. Remember this?
No.
Me either. 15-minute episodes. Dr. Shrinker, an evil scientist, lives on an island with his assistant Hugo, working on this is another Croft one, Sid and Marty Croft, working on various inventions, including a shrinking machine. Brad, BJ, and her brother Gordy are 3 teenagers who crash land on the island. Dr. Shrinker decides to use the 3 teens as guinea pigs to test his shrinking ray, but they manage to escape from Dr. Shrinker's lab. He spends the rest of the series thinking up new ways to capture the teens.
The shrinking ray was popular when we were kids. I remember daydreaming and fantasizing, oh, shrinking ray, that's super cool.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Number 2.
Yeah.
Worst of the 70s live-action kid shows. Far Out Space Nuts.
Oh, I know the name. Okay.
You don't remember coming across this one?
No. This rings a bell, though.
This was 1975 to 76, 15 episodes, starring Chuck McCann and Bob Denver.
Bob Denver?
Gilligan.
Wow, I don't remember Gilligan in anything but Gilligan.
Oh, no, he was in the Many Loves of Dobie Gillis.
I never saw Dobie Gillis. I know what it was, but I never saw it.
Yeah, Far Out Space Nuts with Bob Denver and Chuck McCann. If you look up Chuck McCann, you'll be like, oh, that guy. He was in a million things. And their friend Honk, a furry creature with a horn on top of his head.
Of course.
Far Out Space Nuts? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, who did it? CBS, like CBS's attempt at like stoner comedy.
Oh, yeah. Guys in suits trying to make things to appeal to the stoners and the youth.
Yeah, and it's like
the wacky stuff is
Bob
getting
Denver
ratings.
and Chuck McCann were like they're like janitors or something.
Stinks.
It does. Okay, and the number 1 most terrible live-action kids 70s show, The Ghostbusters.
What?
CBS, 75 to 76, 15 episodes, with Forrest Tucker and Larry Storch.
Larry Storch?
Yep.
He was in everything back then.
And Bob Burns in a gorilla suit.
Wait a minute. Larry Storch, was he the guy from Hogan's Heroes?
No.
No.
F-Troop.
Oh, F-Troop, that's right. Okay. Larry Storch. Wait, and they're Ghostbusters?
Right. It's so the original thing of Ghostbusters was a movie, maybe a movie series back in the 30s. Actually, I think it was originally called The Ghost Breakers. And it was, Ghost Breakers was a movie with the Bowery Boys, who were popular in the 30s, like almost like a proto Three Stooges.
Yeah.
And so they had these movies where they were ghost breakers, and then there was Ghostbusters. The Ghostbusters, I think, was a movie in the 40s or something like that. So that precedent had always been set, and so I think this TV show was sort of on that idea, but I never seen it. Terrible.
Stinks.
There's a list.
Yeah, that list is almost worthy. We almost that should be a show in itself. Take that whole entire list and we'll riff watch it and riff over it.
I've actually got a couple other shows that didn't make the list.
All right, lay it quick. We got 1 more minute.
You could go. A lot of this tied back to the Croft Super Show from 76 to 78. That was where a lot of these terrible shows would start off as segments on it. Things like Electro Woman and Dyna Girl, Dr. Shrinker, Wonderbug, Bigfoot and Wild Boy, stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of things. Well, a lot of stuff we know came off of like Sesame Street and Electric Company.
Yeah.
Like the Blue Beetle and the Spider-Man was on Electric Company. There was even I want to say the Muppets coming off of Sesame Street. I mean, maybe that's how the mixture, the potpourri of a show was probably the test market. And they would see where people would chime in and they go, okay, we got to run in that direction.
It was. This was the era where the suits had no idea how to connect with the kids.
Right, yeah.
And they were clueless. Honorable mention, Captain Kangaroo.
Oh, yeah, Captain Kangaroo.
Now, that was
we love Captain Kangaroo. That was good.
I love Captain Kangaroo.
He was a good egg. Good egg. He was comforting.
I remember when I was a little kid, I would get up early in the morning just to watch Captain Kangaroo.
Yeah, I did too.
Now, that was on CBS.
That was on early.
Yeah, it was. It was really early. Now, I couldn't put that on the list of the 70s shows because it started in 1955.
Oh, yeah. It started, but Captain Kangaroo.
And it ran right through to 84.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right, I'm glad I found the list. There you go.
We have it. Good
right, cool.
Wow, a jam-packed episode.
Jam-packed episode.
You got extra time, guys.
It's cooling down.
We'll get the Wayback Machine next week. We might do 72 next week. We'll see what happens. We'll work our way up to the 80s. When do we get the 80s? That's the fun shit. Oh, we got time. We'll do 72 next week, but we won't go super hog wild.
Yeah.
We won't go too far in.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Shlickety Doo Cast.
Like, subscribe, tell your friends, watch the show all the way through. It really helps us out with the metrics. Otherwise, we're just talking to ourselves.
Bye.